his neck.
Make sure he's all right. Yeah, what the heck happened right there?
That's called time here.
Timeout.
Looks like Robert Densley's got a little road rash on the back of his leg. This is not a good thing.
Well, Jeremy Horn jumps up on the cage and asking him, are you okay to compete? If you want to stop, we can stop it right now. He says, my neck's a little sore. But, you know, he just fell out of a cage. I mean, it's not, you know, but as long as nothing's torn or broken, he just said right there, I'm okay.
Well, that's a big deal, Johnny Rich.
Yeah.
I can't say enough. Obviously, the doctors has gone in here and checked both these fighters out and has deemed that they're both ready to continue. But what a way to get things started here. These guys both came out here with a lot of energy, and that might zap a little bit of it out of you.
Nah.
Not
I'm
these
say
two.
no. I'm gonna say
maybe
nah,
two other guys, maybe, but not these two. And you can see right here, it obviously didn't have much of an effect from an outward appearance here, where both these guys are both willing to come in here and let it go.
Wow, right there, you know, you saw Tyler Tomlinson chasing Robert, but as he was doing that, Robert had his head and was throwing knees. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen that. As he's backing up, he's throwing knees, and and then finally, you know, Tomlinson does get the takedown. But Robert Densley's comfortable here. He is. He's comfortable on his back. He's been training over there with Absolute MMA and with Rob Handley, and he's getting better. He's comfortable from this position.
Well, it looks like Tyler Thompson trying to get past the guard here and was able to do so halfway. But Robert Densley's not going to give anything up quite that easily. He gave up full mount and was able to get a reversal.
Yeah, comes out the back door. Tyler tries to throw it looks like an armbar, but he's got the wrong arm. This is where Robert's going to hurt you. You give Robert the opportunity to punch you from any position, and he's going to do that. The fists are going to come a-flying. Whereas other fighters, they might try to settle down and relax inside your guard. Not Robert, not the record.
He's like the ever-ready bunny, and as you mentioned earlier, he's throwing knees when he was on his way down. He just doesn't stop ever.
And right there, it looks, you know, looks like Tyler looking for an ankle lock. And that's
Robert
exactly.
Spins out of it and now has the back of Tyler Tomlinson and takes this opportunity to throw more punches and landing them, Johnny.
Mike, I think I remember being in this position with Robert the Record Densley, and it's not fun. It's uncomfortable.
Right. He beat the crap out of you.
This is the same position he had. He just had my back, and I couldn't reverse him. I couldn't get inside of him, and he just hammered punches, and that's what he's doing right here.
He's not even looking to sink his hooks in and go for a rear naked choke or anything like that. He just wants to beat the tar out of you, and he's doing that.
Well, I think he realizes that if he does that, Mike, he might lose his position. He might, you know, so he's going to stay behind you, and he's going to cat and mouse you. He's going to hit you. He's going to stand behind you. He's going to lock his arms and squeeze you and keep you there.
Tyler doing a pretty good job of isolating that right hand of Robert Densley's, not letting him do anything beyond what he already is. But that's a big uppercut right there.
But that's what you have to do.
That's the bing bang boom that Lima was looking for in the last fight.
Yeah, that was a bing. You're right. You're absolutely right. But just squeezing that and holding on to that. But now he's looking for a key lock.
And doing a great job from underneath, turning on there. And Robert Densley, though, strong kid, tough to put this on.
He slipped out of it. Slipped out of his own side of the guard. You can see Tyler Tomlinson's bleeding from his mouth a little bit. I think that's because Robert hit him with 5 or 6 good shots from underneath his armpit.
Yeah, but that'll show you just how cagey Tyler Tomlinson is. You didn't really see that key lock coming on, and he was able to came real close to getting that thing, and he's dangerous all the time.
Well, a full reversal right there, Mike, with that, you know, and man, he's bleeding. Yeah, he's there's that. Look at his head.
He's got a pretty gash
big
above
gush.
his eye. And that's a bad place for it. Ethan Andrews stepping in, putting it into this first round here. And boy, Jeremy Horn has his hands full over there in the corner. Gonna have to try to stop that bleeding.
Oh my gosh, man! I'm telling you what. There's the doc in there, wiping off the blood, making sure the cut isn't as bad as it looks. Let me tell you something. Head wounds bleed a lot. But that does look like a pretty good cut. This fight could be over, Mike. This fight could be over.
That cut is very deep, and once, as I said before, in a really bad spot right above the eye there. And it's going to really take some magic there from
first round, out of the cage.
From the corner of Tyler Tomlinson to get that bleeding stopped.
Well, and I think they're going to do that. They're going to get some Vaseline on it and make sure that it's okay. But if it is too bad, the doctor will stop it. But Robert the Record Densley, Mike, did what he came to do, and that's beat people up. He stepped in here the first round, really laid the leather to Tyler Tomlinson right there, had him in a good position, punching him underneath his armpit. But Tyler, you know, looks for the reversal, ends up getting the key lock and ending the round in a pretty precarious position.
You know what, though? Robert Densley seemed to have an answer for everything Tyler Tomlinson threw at him. Tyler did try that key lock. He did try an ankle lock, and both times it seemed like Robert Densley, while he's not all that astute at submission, he recognized he was in him and got out of him.
Man, and landed a big elbow that cut Tyler Tomlinson open. They're patching up right now. Jeremy Horn, Mike, great corner man. Great guy to have in your corner helping you out in a situation where you're bleeding.
If anybody can get the bleeding stopped, he can. I've seen him, watched him work corners, and he really knows what he's doing over there. And looks like he's done a pretty good job of getting this thing stopped. But now your strategy, if you're Robert Densley, is go for the cut, man. Got to open that thing back up, and this fight's over.
Well, and you know that's what he's going to do, Mike. You know, he wants to get this thing over with as soon as and the best he can, just because Tyler Tomlinson is so tough and he is so cagey that he can get you into position and really lock it up. Make you bleed, end it quick.
Densley catching the kick there of Tyler Tomlinson and using it to turn it into a single leg takedown, and now finds himself once again on top. But Tyler Tomlinson, so quick, so cagey, so good at submission. He's already got a tough ankle lock on. And Robert
that'll
Densley,
tap you out. I mean, look at him. The pressure on your knee right there. Your ankle's sore, but let me tell you what that'll do to your knee. It'll tear it up pretty good if he gets that thing locked on and twisted.
Densley is the toughest kid I've ever met. We saw him sit through an entire round of an ankle lock with Donnie Raines before, and once again does it here with Tyler Tomlinson, who is one of the best in the business at putting him on. He didn't have that thing on wrong. It was on perfectly. And Robert Densley just toughed it up.
Just kind of toughed it up and rolled through it and reversed it, and then they get to their feet and
now he's using some foot stomps over there.
Yeah, foot stomps
to make things
and
annoying.
Dropping some knees. Yeah, we got him pinned against the cage, and I think this is where Robert really wants to be. But that cut, again, is bleeding a little bit, Mike.
It's not bleeding into the eye, though, and it's not really causing any vision problems for Tyler Tomlinson. So, you know, obviously Ethan Andrews is going to let this thing continue. Doing a great job here. I think a fine job of officiating, and some officials might want to step in prematurely here, but looks like Robert looking for a choke there, wasn't able to get it.
He wasn't able to get it. Looking for a guillotine choke. Mike, I'm just telling you, this is a main event. This is what people pay to see. This is what I love. This is a great fight right here.
It's an absolute battle, an absolute war, and if you're squeamish at home with the blood, keep in mind, head wounds do bleed a lot. I really don't think that Tyler Tomlinson's feeling any ill effects from the blood. It's become more of a nuisance and an annoyance than anything.
Yeah, Tyler's been in a position like this for him, you know, Mike, where he's bleeding, and it's not a big deal. To these guys, it's just another day at the office. You get a cut, not a big deal. Put a little Vaseline on it, you're good to go.
Sometimes when you're the guy on bottom getting bled on, it can be kind of uncomfortable. I don't really enjoy that, but as you said, these guys, it's another day at the office for them.
You know what, though?
Another attempted ankle lock.
I think Robert, the record, does like it. If you're bleeding on him, he knows he did something to you, and he's not going to mind it at all. But there again, locking on the ankle lock.
Do you think that Tyler Tomlinson did any scouting and checked out some footage of Robert Densley and saw how he was being put into ankle locks before? Well, you see it right here. Well, that's exactly what he's trying to do on several occasions, but Robert Densley doing a great job of defending it.
Doing a great job of defending it, Mike. In all the right positions, making things so hard for Tyler Tomlinson, taking away the things that Tyler Tomlinson's good at, which is their submission. How heartbreaking is it? How discouraging is it if you have a leg lock on like that, and he just muscles through it, and it doesn't even really seem to affect his game at all?
Well, and the other thing he does is he punches you the entire time. That's one thing they don't do in jiu-jitsu class, is have a guy punching you all the time. It's one thing to put on a submission hold in practice, but it's a completely different thing to put on a submission hold with somebody raining down punches and knees and elbows at you.
Yeah, well, right there, you see he's on his back, and he can generate enough energy, and he's so explosive that he'll hit you from that ground position, and it's going to hurt.
We've seen him get a TKO from somebody from on his back by just throwing punches, and so pretty much only the record can do that to you. But you see both of these guys are completely out of gas, and really they've all laid it out on the line here, Johnny Ritchie. The second round not quite as convincing as the first, but I still think Robert Densley has won both rounds 1 and 2.
Yeah, well, you just take a look at Tyler Tomlinson's face, and I mean that alone shows you that he's getting the worst of this beating inside the cage as of right now. But one thing he is doing, Mike, that I'm proud to see, that he's throwing out submissions. He's not stopping. He's not just letting Robert beat on him.
Some would argue that Tyler won that second round because of the submission attempts, but I really think Robert landed enough solid blows to give him the nod on that second round. But again, my scorecard is very unofficial, and it's just a third party's observer.
Well, these guys, you know, Mike, sometimes when guys are out of gas, it's just because they're not in shape and they just get in there, they're not expect. These guys knew what kind of a fight it was going to be. They're out of gas because they haven't stopped. They've just been continually fighting. I mean, even in their corners, they're thinking about getting ready. But what a good takedown by Tyler.
Really a nice takedown. Very patient. He pinned him up against the cage and then looked for a dump, but he didn't rush it. Very patiently looked for it. A nice job.
You know, talking to Tyler before, Mike, he likes that side mount position where he can, you know, look for certain things.
His guard.
Yeah, look for certain dropping elbows down.
He's got a shoulder choke on here, Johnny Ritchie. Looks like he's going for. If he can get out to the side
all the way
he'll
over.
be in good shape. And you see Jeremy Horn over there coaxing him to do just that.
Telling him to get out of guard and get all the way over to that side. So if he jumps over and he lands on all the way over on the other side, what would be the right side of Robert, he can get that choke on pretty tight.
Oh, it looks like he's, I wonder what Jeremy Horn's wearing those sunglasses for. Maybe his future's bright.
So bright that he's got to wear shades.
He's got him up on his head there.
Well, Tyler's slowly trying to work
Tyler's
that
got
over.
full mount, and he's not going to sit up and throw any punches. He's really intent on going after that shoulder choke. He feels like he's got it on if he just can nudge his body over just a little bit. And really, that shoulder choke, all it takes is a slight movement to make it on and make it off. So you got to find that little sweet spot, if you will, to make it effective. You can see Robert Densley's having a little bit of a hard time underneath there, and he's having a hard time fighting out of this.
Well, Mike, what do you do from that position? I mean, you got a guy on you like that that's
he's got to start.
Now
he's got to start bucking, and now
this is where it's bad. And there's the tap.
That's on. You saw his head turn purple because his head was not getting any blood supply. Once he stepped over there, that was it.
How disappointing for Robert, the record Densley, who just stepped in there and had a complete war with Tyler Tomlinson.
It's a big win for Tyler, though. Looks like Bird Dog's getting tossed.
Oh yeah, well, look at Densley.
Bird
You're
Dog
next.
can't stop. Look at these guys. This was an emotional fight, this team versus team, but you guys got to keep it in perspective here. It's just the sport, boys, and let's let it happen here. Tyler Tomlinson did get the best of Robert Densley. It took him longer than he thought it would, and it took a lot more work than he thought it would, and a lot more blood. But ultimately, he did win it, and he is your champion. To see an unedited version of the Ultimate Combat experience, watch us live.
Go to Channels Online via ultimatecombat.com webpage.
Record, without question, the most dominant performance I've ever seen in a loss. You came out first and second round. I think you proved the critics wrong. You belong. Great job. I was impressed with you tonight.
Thank you.
How do you feel about the fight?
I felt good about it. I mean, look at his face. For the sake.
I agree. I couldn't agree with you more. Are you going to come back and do this again, Record? Where you at? What's next for Record, man?
Bigger and better every time.
I know. Robert, hey. I know you got some people you want to thank here, but I want to thank you, first of all, coming back and entertaining the fans. You gave a hell of a performance and a great main event tonight. Go ahead and thank your sponsors.
I want to thank my sponsors, Cooney's Customs and Cloyd, for setting it all up for me. I'm telling you right now, that's the best damn chopper shop in the whole state of Utah, and they sell them for great prices, so get over there.
You got a big endorsement there. Hey, Record, tonight you were good, just not good enough. It didn't work out for you. I'm glad you came, and I really, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate you coming here and entertaining us tonight, man.
Thanks, Mike.
This post-fight interview sponsored by Beehive Bell Bonds, because sometimes bad things happen to good people.
Tyler, man, come on, tell me about it, dude. Was that not one of the toughest damn fights you ever had in your whole life?
Yeah, definitely. That kid's a freaking athlete, I'll tell you what.
Dude, an athlete and an animal, but you get in here and you pulled it off. You got that choke, and it just showed that you have the skills to do what it takes, man. What's next? Are you going to keep fighting for UCE, or what's going on, man?
I jump around. If UCE's got a fight for me, I'll definitely take it. My family's in Utah, so obviously I want to.
Well, stick around here and fight, man, because I know Robert the Record Densley wants another shot at the title, because, Tyler, you're a tough kid, probably the toughest kid he's ever fought, and I know that just from knowing Robert, he's going to want a rematch with you, Ty. Can you do that? Can you do that for us? Representing the league, can you do it?
We'll see what happens. I don't really do rematches. I just try to move on, but definitely he's a tough kid. We'll see what happens.
All right, Ty, man, you did it. Congratulations. You got the cup. Nice job.
Bit of a bittersweet night tonight, Johnny Ritchie. It was a tough night to get through, obviously, with all that was going on. But what a great night of fights.
It was, Mike. How many 3-round fights have we seen in the day of UCE in a finals event? Probably not.
No, we never.
Tonight.
It's late, folks. We're getting out of here late. It's past my bedtime.
Me too. I tell you, Mike, it was a great night of fights. People that paid their money to see these fights got their money's worth plus some, and that main event alone stood for itself. Robert the Record. Come on, how about that guy?
Johnny, let's talk about all the fighters this round. I think this round was far and above. The whole round was a great round.
Mike.
We got fighters coming back like the Record, and we got newcomers coming up like John Sharp and Launch and the Muay Academy. It's exciting to think about what's going to happen next round, because we got some just animals.
And next round, it's not just the next round. This is the round of champions. We're giving away belts, folks. We'll be giving away cups. Every single fighter in the state of Utah that's got what it takes is going to be lined up for this next round. So you're definitely, definitely.
The title belt going on next round, right back here at the Delta Center. Much love to the Crush crew, you, Johnny Ritchie, everybody to help put this thing together, because believe me, it takes a lot of people to do this.
Bigger and better.
Thanks for watching, folks.
Thank you.
Next week, check us out, because round 18 kicks into gear. Johnny Ritchie, love you, man. We'll see you next week.